With customers around the globe, Yarmouth's TriStar Industries is a very busy place. TriStar builds and designs a huge variety of custom and specialized emergency and security-related vehicles. From sheriff's cars to mobile command centers. But their specialty is custom-designed ambulances. Ambulance design has changed considerably over the years, and TriStar is a world leader. Of course, the first stage in building a world-class ambulance is design. Since every fleet of vehicles is custom-designed around a client's needs, the TriStar design team uses state-of-the-art 3D computer-aided design software to perfectly design and fit every element. Once complete, each ambulance will include a main computerized control system. This controls a variety of onboard systems, including interior and exterior lighting, as well as sirens and computer systems. The control system is even upgradable to ensure system reliability. Each ambulance arrives at TriStar as a simple cab and chassis combination that is supplied by one of several major automotive manufacturers. The first stage of ambulance construction requires the building of the modular body that'll mount on the back of the vehicle, commonly referred to as the patient compartment. This is where all the equipment required to save lives, as well as the patient themselves, will be located. The rear body is built and assembled from scratch in the metal shop. Built out of aluminum, a metal that is both strong and lightweight, the metal crew welds, cuts, and bends every piece by hand, including the rear and side doors. First, the floor and wall frames are constructed out of tubular metal and welded together by hand. The wall frames are then attached to aluminum plate. Once the two pieces are secured, workers cut a variety of holes for wiring, lighting, and other equipment. Once the floor and walls are complete, they are welded together to form the box. First, the cab or front wall is attached to the floor, followed by the side walls. Then the back wall is welded to that. The roof is constructed last. Door and window openings are cut after the box has been constructed. Once it's complete, the box is sent to a local Yarmouth auto body shop for painting. Painting takes approximately 4 days. The wiring of an ambulance is a very complex task and takes about 5 days to complete. All wiring harnesses or groups of wires must adhere to specific motor vehicle safety standards, which includes the ability to withstand fire. Workers build the wiring harnesses using a pegged jig or board that allows them to lay out the groups of wires as they will be laid out later in the final ambulance. Once the wires are laid out and all the connectors have been attached, they're taped together and wrapped in loom. Loom is simply a plastic fire retardant sheath that provides a tidy container for the wires. The wiring department also builds the computerized control panel for each ambulance, using a system of nodes that each control a separate part of the ambulance. This node, or computer programmable system, ensures that everything works as it's meant to in an emergency situation. In the carpentry department, workers use extruded aluminum frames and foam core PVC to build the internal walls, cabinets, and bulkheads. PVC and other plastics are used for their lightness as well as their cleanability and are replacing traditional wood products. All bulkheads and cabinets are cut and assembled on site. then inspected and made ready for installation. The cabinetry crew also installs all the hardware and windows used on the exterior doors. Once all the components are built, it's time to build our ambulance. Each ambulance is built in stages, with a different installation crew working on each stage. A typical ambulance takes about 900 person-hours to complete. Although the vehicles are delivered from the manufacturer as ambulance-ready, there are a few adjustments that need to be made before the rear body is attached. This means that the electrical system needs to be upgraded, as well as the rear suspension. Everything needs to be designed for a smooth and comfortable ride for the passenger and the healthcare team. Once the body is attached to the vehicle, it's time to begin the wiring. A worker makes sure all the wiring harnesses are secured in the correct place and that they lead back to the controller or nerve center on the side of the vehicle. Once the wiring is complete, it's time to install the insulation, walls, and cabinets. As the ambulance begins to take shape on the inside, TriStar's graphic design team work on the outside. Designers use task-specific software to design and lay out the graphics that will let everybody know that this is an ambulance. Once the layout and design is complete, the project is sent to a large format printing machine that is able to cut the graphics from a variety of bright and easily visible vinyl sheets. Once the vinyl is cut, a worker weeds the excess material and prepares it for application on the vehicle. Prismatic material is used on certain graphics that offers a high reflectivity for drivers at night, as you can see in this demonstration. Once the graphics are ready, they're placed in the appropriate position on the ambulance. Once complete, the ambulance will offer a variety of unique features, such as fully dimmable lighting, as well as a completely adjustable seat that will offer paramedics both practicality and safety. The final step in building the ambulance is installing any medical equipment that's part of the order, such as this stretcher. The finished ambulance is then ready for delivery.